Alright, hello everyone, my name is Brax, and today I'm going to try to make this the last extra long Katawa Shoujo video. I think extra long. Like I said, I have no idea how much time is left in this game, but we're going to keep going. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high-backed booths around the walls. What's going on? But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed or something? Oh, it's her. The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, dressed as in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not, it isn't the first question that leaps into my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Hasao? Welcome to the Shanghai. Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. Ugh, my glasses! Oh, my glasses! I can't see without my glasses. As I pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here part-time as well as at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here. Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on. Yes, that's right. Thanks. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like, but there may be a delay as I will have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I'll get right on to that. Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry, please sit wherever you like, I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All of the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So, Hasao, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. I suppose the obvious question would now be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako. Hasao did. Yes, but, not by much. Damn, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. Well done, Hasao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at. Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. Yes, it did. Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into the conversation. Are you alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly. It's my job. The concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Oh man, damn, I think I had a stroke. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table, and with only the subtlest of crashes. There, see? Well done. Thank you, Yuko. Yuko's head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may. Ah, that's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the Braille. Ah, yes, we didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I've been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we can come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another, if need be? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without having the slightest idea of what's going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me. Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Oh, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with you, Hanako? With Hanako? Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. No, of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the... Good lord. I wanted to read that, god damn it. Can I go back? Oh. Come on. Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea. Man, almost fucked that up. Oh, okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault. Let me pour that for you. Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you've fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. As I'm about... Oh, fireworks. I was wondering what the fuck is happening. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low, loud rumble can hear, along with a flash of light from outside. Oh, I take it the show has started. Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us at the peak of twilight. Sparking tracers arc upwards, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks. Let's go watch! Oh, sorry, Lily. Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from. With the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. Well, I mean, you could at least bring her along with you. You know, don't leave her out completely. You know? The strobe of colored lights plays across Haruko and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forget to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over the festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show was over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Before we return to our tea sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. And tomorrow. That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crabs either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Sure. We return to the booth and light our meal. We return to the booth and our light meal. That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen him put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I'll take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now, why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together? Oh, okay. Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. You're right. That's not bad at all. Good. I look back at Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal, as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, seems we're all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. Oh, I think it'd be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all. Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. That's right. We spent all of today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside of the school will be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Asao. Night. The girls returned to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. What is this? Oh. Hanako backstory? Whoa, this is real good. Act 2, hide and seek. That was only the first act? Finish Hanako's Act 1. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my feet. So, like, if I went after a different girl, it would be different. Huh. Well, that was really neat. My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottles of pills sit on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to Class 3-3. Glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from the festival week. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt. With the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. With nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. The seats beside mine are blissfully empty. The world's loudest interpreter for the deaf has yet to arrive. Just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing a resplendent Misha. Drills bobbing from dramatic entrance and arms stretched out towards the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glared at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha, still frozen in the doorway with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly, she jerks forward. Hey! As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shizune, arm still extended from where she shoved Misha. She signs. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? She signs. Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize she has to translate. Oh, yeah, Shi-chan says she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy. Is that so? What about the stuff I already did for you two? She signs. She says that only counts for council members. Since you declined, she doesn't owe you anything. Misha leans closer and whispers conspiratorially into my ear. Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend the day with her. She's really thankful for your work last week, though. Sensing that she's being talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers on the desk until Misha turns around to face her. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While the exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Yeah, man, the thing that annoys me about these games is how if I want to get all the endings, I gotta figure out what buttons to press, and I could press the wrong buttons. I think I'm doing good with getting Hanako's all her stuff, but I don't know. Good morning, Hisao. Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily. About today. So you've got her list then? We can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me and then hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Mutao simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook, then sits behind his desk. I totally forget about the brief lunch period for a moment, such as the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised that the bells signal the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bag, Shizune and Misha flank to entrap me. Say, Hishan, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete. Sorry, Misha, I've got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag, and trying to avoid eye contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide, and she bursts into laughter. You move fast, don't you, Hichan? We won't disturb your date any further. Behind the roaring Misha, I see Shizumi taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. I feel a gentle tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Let's... Gaga. Shizumi, Misha, I'll see you later. And I'm still not interested in the council. Spoil sport. Misha and Shizumi retreat to the hallway, happily signing to each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't at her usual, just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around her leather straps to her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles. Her head down and her mouth pursed close. She almost looks like she's being walked to the principal's office for the first time. I try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it is futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second there it looked like you were getting in trouble. What do you mean? I think you need to relax a little. I'm not going too far. It's the only students around, right? Right. It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you? Yes, with Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? Doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two have never met? Will she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile, but the effort of that seems to prevent further conversation. We travel side by side down the winding road towards the town. The crowd of students thins as we continue along the sidewalk. Faster students rush ahead, and the less mobile ones fall behind, rarefying the crowd into nothingness. By the time we reach the convenience store, we are practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisles, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, thyme? What kind of convenience store sells herbs? Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be such a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable. Dwelling on such matters isn't really an option. When I think about that, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. As much as I don't want to admit it myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Not that I'm scar-free myself. The jagging line down my sternum will never completely fade away. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that we're all in this place for a reason. Hanako throws one last item into her basket, then sheepishly holds it out to me, along with a few banknotes. Could you, please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, you want me to pay for this? She nods, but doesn't look up. I guess this task falls to Lily on the usual occasions. Sure, let me grab a couple things. Hastily, I grab a few essential items for myself and head to the counter with Hanako in close tow. The attendant gives me an indifferent nod as he scans in the items. I suppose just ignoring us in one way to deal with the anomalies of Yamaku. They must get a lot of students here, being the closest store to the school. The staff must have their own way of dealing with us. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it's only me who thinks twice about my unique schoolmates. The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with only the school ahead of the road, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako, her arms by her sides, each carrying a bag, her head no longer bowed, and back to the upright position. It's almost as if she were enjoying this walk. So why all these things? Mixed spice? Why would you need that at the school? I sometimes like to make food. Well, yeah, so do I, but spices? That's a little more advanced, don't you think? Not really. Well, I think it's cool. You'll have to teach me one day. Sure. She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing the point doesn't seem all that wise. At the very least, she seems a great deal happier than she did on the walk down here. That alone makes me a little happier. Outside the girls' dorms, Hanako and I sort out the grocery bags with our respective purchases. In comparison, my things look positively plain. I'll tell you, you're putting me to shame here. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. Will you be alright getting to your room? Yeah. Sure? Okay then. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. We part ways and I return to my room. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of the last week, I've barely had any time to catch up. I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before, even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I pop the top of the can on a can of drink and get to work. Gotta make that a rap beat. It'd go hard. The days are really starting to heat up. This morning I awoke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun is taking full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. It's not even 8, yet I feel that this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. If I weren't at a school that considered every absence from class as a sign of a life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping the whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. For a second I stopped mid-stretch and considered the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those morning jogs. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace... who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. It's not like I sit around all day. I walk to and from the convenience store. It counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. Yeah, it's no big deal. Compared to months lying in the hospital bed, I'm getting plenty of exercise. I don't know, dude. Sometimes you gotta push yourself. Yeah, walk up a hill. It can do you good, but I don't know, you gotta push yourself every once in a while. Push yourself a little beyond. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring, as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. However, she shows no signs of halting her efforts, nor is she trying to hide the fact. The lunch bells seem to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hasao? Hey there, Hanako. What can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone. Awesome. You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Right. I take it we're going to the tea room? Please. Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should go ahead together. Sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual den of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by the heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, intently focusing on every little movement, as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she's prepared everything with the utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force the lid open. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. I said that a little fast. Let me guess. Did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yes, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. Looks like it's wedged shut. We need some hot water to get it open, or you can just keep trying. But that could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? Oh, it's Lily. At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest not to look like she's looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Not bad. I guess this is made by the stuff you bought yesterday? Yes. Hanako's eyes shout at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it's certainly worth it. Thanks, Hanako. I wanted to show you this after yesterday. That's okay. I was just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying. Hanako's always liked to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good. Most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. It's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over on her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right? Right. Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think she were a child playing with her food. If not for the situation, though, she does it with such care and thoughtlessness that it's obvious that this is simply how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still-shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. No, thank you for the bread. Yes, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome. But now I must get back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here and then head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack our things and stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together we stare out the window into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn the time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either. Not just yet. The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passes in the blink of an eye. We really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. Slowly, she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the third floor and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. I am greeted not by stern words, nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Mutao, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. Make that about 14 students trying, and 1 student failing. The lovers return. I don't want to laugh really loud for this. Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now. I step through the door and realize that Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from class. With my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written fairly clearly on her face. Quickly checking on the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha. She's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Mutao picks the exact moment to enter the class, halfway through the lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directly proportional for the charge, but inversely proportional for the square of the distance. Or something like that. Or something like that. Oh, shucks. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Mutao's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me. The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did. That much is obvious from the show you just put on. I've been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition. Oh, and what would that be? You'll have to help us this afternoon. I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you, I'm not joining the council, remember? Of course, doing so would be considered. Considered. She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for her place in her script. Under duress, and hence would be against regulations. How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now. Things should be done by the book. It's just that the book hasn't written for every situation, so there are times when it can be ignored. And yet you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out of me, Misha returns to her workbook, and we battle our way through the latter half of the school day. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out. Damn. This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance. Hisao? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh, hey, Hanako. What's up? Shizune sighs. Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat? That's kind of bitchy. Oh, relax. This won't take long. Sorry, Hanako. You were saying? I was going to the library and I thought... Hanako's thumbs dance around each other, and her eyes flit around the room, looking everywhere but at us. Sorry, Hanako, but Hisao has to come with us. He's got work to do. Shizune signs something. Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So how about it, Hisao? Am I at a point in the game where my choices can fuck something up? What do you think, Hanako? I've done enough work for the council already. Man, my gut tells me I've done enough work for the council already. I'm going to go help Hanako. Well, it would be good for Hanako to... Alright, shit. Okay, yeah. What do you think, Hanako? What do you say, Hanako? If we all help, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my questions before she can even form the words. I really need to go. Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easier to resign myself to another afternoon's work in the small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay? Oh, okay. Oh, fuck, did I fuck up? Oh, shit. Right. Now that the farewells are over, it's work time. Misha Shizune and the Shizune frog march me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off her back, so be it. Man, I was thinking, like, it could be a way to help Hanako open up. Like, you know, have her interact with others, become more sociable. Alright. So then, what are we up to today? Debrief. Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after something? Yep, we have to collate all of the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers. Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles Oh, I thought that said succulently, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm not trying to say that word, goddamn. You need to sort those out into 2 piles. One for financial stuff, like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, maybe one for things that look like they could be problems next year, one for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed. This is a lot more than 2 piles. Yeah, that's a few more than 2 piles. Huh? Oh, right. Yeah, I thought it would be only 2 piles. My bad. Alright. While I'm doing this, what will you two be doing? Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to go get some food. Why didn't you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. Huh? How is that fair? Shizune sighs. I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune and then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to the both of us before disappearing out the door. What was that all about? Shi-chan was worried that you'd get it all wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you how you're messing things up, she's making me stay. Aw, bummer. I wanted to go with Shi-chan. But she is going to bring us back some food. How good is that? Misha's flippancy is out of this world, from down to the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. Wait, if she's being asked to stay behind, why doesn't she just do it? Whatever. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. I gathered that. Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's just simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still, until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk.
This is hopeless.
Huh? Why? We're doing what we're told, right?
Yeah, but it looks like we're just making a mess.
No, I think we got a lot done. Shikshan will be able to work out the rest from here. So I think we can stop about here then. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Still, there's no point in arguing. Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako?
Deal?
You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been any fireworks? Any gossip that you're withholding from me?
If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it?
I guess not. We're just friends, I guess.
Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her.
It's not really like that. You know, Shichan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean that I can't be concerned for her.
What is there to be concerned about?
Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Hichan.
If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, quote unquote, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along.
I mean, in one way or another, we're all in the same boat here, right?
Well, I guess.
This one time, when she left class halfway through, Shikshan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs and that Shikshan shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work. She just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about?
I guess you're right. She still hardly says a word when we're talking.
Well, that's more than I've been able to do. Shikshan and I both tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I considered telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in thought. Listening to Misha without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like and that she can trust us. If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her. I think this is the longest I have watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she's constantly waving her hands about, explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako is cut out for that kind of joke. Oh? Oh. I didn't even notice. Sorry.
Don't say it to me. Just mention it to her.
Alright, first thing tomorrow. I'll speak to her. Good. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess you can't really tell how much noise she's making. Oh, Shikshan, you're back. Shizune appears, completely laden with goods from the convenience store. There was some surplus left in the festival since this is officially... There was some surplus left from the festival since this is officially festival business. I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shikshan. 10 points. Is that really allowed? She signs. For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast. Fine, I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize that it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least it's filling. She signs. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time we just make up reports for the staff. This year, we can at least make up some relevant headings on the debrief.
Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? Not at all, not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough. I thought that was the definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. Shizune signs. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. You know, if you stress the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you probably end up with more recruits. You might just have a point. Well, think about it. Think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell it to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh, right. I'll try to see you tomorrow. Good night, Hichan. Night, Misha. Shizune. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to start freestyling to that tune, but I'm going to look like a retard. Chirping birds. Normally, this would be a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature. But it's 6 in the morning. Covering my head with the pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that the impact will send me instantly back to sleep. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply won't return to me. Alright, nature, you've won. See, I'm getting up now. The lack of sleep weighs my mind down, and there's only one remedy for this. A nice, hearty breakfast. It would be nice to be the first person here. To be the first to dig into a piping hot pile of food, to sit wherever I desire. It would have been nice. But even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here, for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around one table, eagerly discussing game plans in between inhaling great gulps of food. Scattered around the hall are a number of bleary-eyed students, probably suffering from the same ailment as myself, noisy birds. And of course, there are the people that actually enjoy getting up this early, the ones with their bags stuffed with textbooks and completed homework. It's hard not to despise people like that, even more so when you're tired. When you're tired yourself. Yeah, maybe I was just a piece of shit in high school, but I would look at the people who would actually take time and do the work, make sure they get every question right, like they're fucking losers. Like one of my good buddies, he was like very particular about that, and I was just like, fucking nerd, actually cares about getting a good education. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head towards the nearest table. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling her way around a small plate of eggs with her fork. It's almost a shame to interrupt her in her clockwork movements. I wonder if this is how a blind person zones out, simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years, just like how a sighted person would eat while reading the newspaper. Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early. Oh, so, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early. I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I'd greatly prefer to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness, and I begin eating my food. It doesn't take long for her to lapse back to her previous mindless nibbling. Each short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. I've always wondered about blind people. What do they see? And I know, they can't see. But there has to be like a color that they see. Is it white? Is it black? I would assume black. I'm not sure. I am not blind, nor have I ever been. I might be. Someday. Who knows? And I guess I'll have my answer then. But to all the blind people, what color do you see? But after a few repetitions of the fine food/eat food cycle, Lee puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin. Dab. Hasao, do you mind if I ask you a question? Damn, all I want is a little food and about 4 hours of sleep, and nobody says, "Can I ask you a question?" For a simple question. Sure. Do you think of Hanako as a friend? Huh? This seems like a leading. This seems like a leading question. I guess so. Why do you ask? No real reason. I do have another question, though. Why is it that you think of her as a friend? This is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way she deals with people. Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared off by her appearance. Really? I thought that kind of thing was, well, discouraged here, discriminating and such. If I were to put it one way, she furrows her brow in thought, and a move which makes me slightly anxious as to what she's plucking from her mind. I'd say that you're a little naive. Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see. While Yamaku has a strong sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature, after all, only suppress it. That's something I've noticed, actually. Just little things, like how certain people in cliques avoid each other in hallways. It's no different than my old school, really. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha-tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers and behind her glasses. Oh, dang. I guess you're right, but when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes, like when we first met, and I said, "I see," to you. I don't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I tried to just put it in the back of my mind, treating people any differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. I talked to Hanako as if she were any other person, and so we became friends. At least, that's how I think it happened. But I feel guilty just from saying something like that aloud. As if it took extra effort to think of Hanako or you or anyone here as normal people. I don't think that's right. So, I think you are naive, but I also think that you are a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits. I suppose I can take that as a compliment. Tell me, are you free tonight? If you don't count homework, then I'm as free as the breeze. In that case, would you care to join myself and Hanako for tea? I don't really have that much money on me at the moment, so going out isn't really... Oh, I didn't mean going out. Just here, this evening. You can access the classrooms in the evening here? No, that's not what I meant. Hanako and I often use my room for tea parties together. Please, feel free to drop by after dusk. Sure, I see no problem with that. What's your room number? 225, room 25 on the second floor. Okay, sure. Well then, I had best be off. I have class representative duties to attend to, after all. Until this evening is out. Yeah, catch you later. Was I just invited to a girl's room after hours? Is that even allowed? There is a curfew here, but I've never heard any rules about visitors in the dorm rooms. Even still, this is enough to get my sleep-deprived brain jump-started. Add to that lukewarm breakfast, and you have one hell of a pick-me-up. I grudgingly go to class, still a little excited at the prospect of breaking the rules. I feel like a little kid planning to sneak out of his window at night. Well, maybe that's going a little too far, but when you compare an invitation to a party to 6 or so hours of lectures, I know which one wins. Oh God, you're telling me. Misha and Shizune do little to relieve my boredom either. For once, they seemed determined to actually complete Mutao's assignments. Nevertheless, the day eventually winds to a close. I hurry back to my room to wash up and comb my hair. Thankfully, I don't run into Kenji. Oh god, imagine how he'd react. Before long, I'm leaving the boys' dorm. I nervously rap on the door marked 225, checking my watch once again. Is that you, Hisao? The door's open. You can come on in. Lily's voice lilts through the door and soothes my nerves. This is the first time I've been invited to a girl's room after dark. Even though I know there is no ulterior motive behind this invitation, it doesn't stop my mind from running wild with possibilities. One guy, two girls in a dorm room with a tea set. When I put it like that, it sounds a little dodgy. Giving a small sigh to steady myself, I gingerly put my hand on the handle and open the door, craning my head to see inside. The door opens completely and I catch my first glimpse of Lily's room. Her furniture looks almost antique, but the bare walls and flat surfaces are barely decorated at all. In the center of the room sits a low table where I see a small tea set at rest. It seems that everything in this room has its place, possibly excepting the several piles of books stacked up against the wall. My sense of vision isn't the only one to be stimulated. The faint smell of something can be picked up in the air. Nail polish, perfume, makeup. It's hard to describe in any way other than girly. My eyes finish their quick sweep of the room before returning to their position under the girls. Lily sits next to the small table wearing a very dark blue pajamas. Dark blue pajamas with shorts that show off plenty of her alluring pale legs. How old are these characters again? Seniors in high school? Opposite her, Hanako sits adorned in a conservative light pink gown. Her hands are firmly fixed between her legs, her shoulders forward and her head down, as if trying to hide herself in it. It would be easy for her to do so. It looks about 2 sizes too big for her. Waves of flannel flow from her frame, making her look like a child playing dress-up in her parents' clothes. She looks up to confirm my identity, and beginnings of a thin smile creep across her face, before vanishing so fast that I can't be sure they ever were there. There's no point in you standing in the doorway, Hisao. I take a step into the room, closing the door behind me. My, I'm afraid this really is a small room for the three of us. Would you like to take a seat? I slowly walk to the table and sit down, trying my hardest not to disturb anything along the way. I also can't help but steal a quick glance into Lily's top as I sit. Oh, you fucking pervert! To be robbed of sight would be a most terrible fate. You fucking perv. Remember how I keep saying that I kind of fucking hate Hisao? He's kind of a douche sometimes. Like, he's nice enough. He has his moments. But he especially has his moments of being a dick. Well now, how about some tea? Hanako, could you please pour? Sure. Hisao, would you like... I would love some tea. Do you need a hand? No, I'm fine. Thank you. Lily finds it difficult to resist a smile at her companion's nervousness, something I can't really blame her for. Been a tiring day? Yeah. I relax at my place, opposite of the cabinet. To my left is the blue-clad Lily, and to my right sits the pink Hanako. The tea set on the table looks cute as well as practical, painted red with a floral motif. It looks odd when contrasted with Lily's plain but generally sophisticated-looking furniture, which leads me to think that Hanako might have picked it out. There is a slight ting when Hanako accidentally clips the teapot on a cup as she's pouring. She breathes in sharply. She must be really nervous, as it's not the kind of thing anyone would worry about. Hanako quivers at her mistake. It's okay, Hanako. There's no need to be nervous. Hanako seems to find some confidence in Lily's reassuringly soft-spoken words, and deftly pours the next 2 cups. Here you are, Hisao. Lily. Hanako carefully places a cup and saucer in front of Lily and myself. I can get used to service like this. Thank you, Hanako. Yeah, thanks. You're welcome. Lily searches for her cup and upon finding it, sips delicately. I do the same. This tea tastes somewhat better than the tea we usually have at school. This is nice. So different from any tea I've had before. Looks like you picked the right one, Hanako. You've done well, even if it was a bold move. Hanako's smile returns, redoubled. Even with her blighted face, her shy smile can't be called anything but cute. I'm glad you like it. Hanako, finally beginning to relax, sips from her cup. I think back to my chat with Misha the other day. Is Hanako's behavior something to be concerned about, or is she just shy? And then there was Lily earlier this morning. The concern from both of them seemed to be genuine, and they know the situation better than I. But really, how could I possibly help? I'm no plastic surgeon, so I can't really help her appearance, nor am I a psychologist who can make her more sociable. So what the hell do Lily and Misha want me to do? It's frustrating. Hanako and I are quickly becoming friends on our own accord, and because of that, it's like everyone wants me to solve all their problems. And I have no idea how to do that. No one can cure my heart, nor Lily's eyes, nor anyone who is here in this school. However, I see no harm in becoming better friends with Hanako, now that she's warming up to me, and I kind of enjoy hanging out with her. So, Hisao, are you enjoying yourself? Lily's words break me out of my reverie, and I take a second to reconsider where I am. I'm in a room with 2 girls in their bedclothes. This is something to be enjoyed. Yeah, it's relaxing. Almost like I'm not in the school anymore. Do you do this often? Quite often, but not as often as we take tea in the school building. Considering they do that nearly every day, that's not a big surprise. As I move to take another sip from my teacup, I find it sadly empty. That was delicious. Thank you, Hanako. Lily. You're welcome. Yes, you're most welcome, Hisao. It's nice to have a third person here. Well, many times you need someone to fill that position. I'm always available. Always. One must be sure to get one's point across in these circumstances. Yeah, dude. Like, ugh. If I was invited to, 2 cute girls' room in high school, oh my god, I'd be on the... I'm going to stop that joke right there. Lily lets loose a yawn, which she unsuccessfully hides with her hand. Pardon me, I think I'm a little tired. Oh my god, I'm yawning. I think we're all a little tired. My, how astute we are tonight, Hanako. We really should head to bed. We all have class tomorrow. Yeah, I should go. Thank you for your presence, Hisao. Thanks. You'll come again? Not even a whole army could stop me. I'm impressed by your determination, Hisao. Either way, you're right. We'd best get going. I stand up and make for the door. Hanako gingerly stands up behind me. I stop and face her. You coming with me? Hanako instantly blossoms into full blush. No, not... This room isn't... It's okay. I was only joking. Oh, okay. Good night. Good night, Hanako. Good night, Hisao. Night all. And with that, our tea party finishes. I'm still not sure what it is that Lily wants me to do for Hanako, but I don't want to let her down. I'm still not sure... Oh, wait, no, I already read that. Oh, I'm retarded. I stopped the recording for 1 second to go get a drink of water, and I come back, I'm even more retarded. God damn it. I wait until the door is closed behind us before turning to Hanako. Hey, Hanako, you know, you don't have to be nervous around me or anything. Dude, saying that alone should make a woman nervous to be around you. Like, dude, don't say that. Like, hey, you don't have to be nervous around me. I mean, we're friends, right? Right, we're friends. If you ever want to hang out or anything, just let me know. We still need to have that chess rematch, remember? Sure. But I don't think you'll win. It wouldn't be any fun if it was easy. Hanako seems to give a muted laugh, but she could have just as easily been exhaling. Good night, Asao. With that, Hanako quickly retreats to her room, located next to Lily's. I start to walk back to my dorm, but the simple act of walking seems to drain me of my energy. I barely make it to my room before I am hit by a wave of exhaustion. I kick off my shoes, fall into bed, and fall asleep by the time my head hits the pillow. Here we go. Okay. Man, dude, I can't do it. I can't freestyle. I can't do it. I pull my doors closed, ready for another day of class. Hold on, partner. I know what I said. I'm going to try to make this one last video, but this has taken me literally days to record. I had to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start a couple times. And and I do not want the video to be so goddamn loud or long. So I'm going to end it right there. Yet again, still amazing, still great, absolutely amazing. Check it out. Try it, get your own ending. It's fun, it's great, it's enthralling. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to stop by, watch all my videos. Truly means the world to me, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to stammer through. God bless you, and please have a wonderful night. Bye bye.